Hello and welcome to my ramble video of Shopify. Before I get started, I just want to mention that this is not a video to persuade people to stay away from Shopify. I feel like Shopify is a really good website for people to start developing self-employment businesses and become early entrepreneurs. But this is from my personal experience and it's not really being discussed a lot in the Shopify industry. So I feel like I just want to get this out of my chest to be open with everyone online, because there seems to be people that seem to be hiding the truth of what it actually is like when you run a Shopify store. Around January 2022, I was inspired to open my first Shopify store by the name of pixabo.com. Originally, I wanted to sell LEDs, lamps, gaming lights, etc. And I use a supplier from Spocket as the app I use instead of Alibaba or AliExpress. And during that time, I was building my website. I was making sure I've got the terms of service, agreements, the refund policy, all those policies included. And then I started adding products. And then I got my own website link, so to make it more professional, to hide the myshopify.com initial. And from time to time, I've been focusing ever since even today, how can I work on SEO to get more traffic? Because I know there's some bits of my website as of today that needs a little bit of work. So such as the descriptions, because there's not much description, and some of its grammar is a bit off. But my entire focus is learning about SEO. So people always say just add keywords, tags, blah blah blah, and you'll get many visits. But what if you've done all of those? What if even if you hired someone from Fiverr to create their own product titles and descriptions, and that still didn't work at all? I tried Google Merchant Center, didn't work. I tried Google Ads, it didn't work. I even tried TikTok, which is the pretty common industry for dropshipping advertisements. It worked a little bit, but it wasn't that impactful. I tried TikTok ads, it didn't work. Pinterest actually worked. I've made about 3 sales, but then after that, I've not had any sales in the past few months. You got Pinterest ads. I've only made 1 sale, but I pretty much spent more on ads than the profit I got back from that 1 sale. Facebook advertising, I've done that, didn't work. And yes, SEO words in titles and descriptions, hired one from Fiverr. That didn't seem to work at all. We had Instagram ads, that didn't work. And then occasional Instagram posting, that did not work either. And I've pretty much done the other small aspects of promoting my Shopify store, but it didn't seem to work. And you may be thinking, that seems pretty crazy. You must be doing something wrong. As I posted this on Reddit, people were just like, well, you clearly are doing something wrong. That's all on you. But yeah, okay, that could be true. But how come my products are not showing up on Google or MSN? It's like when I type in pixabo.com, you only see the website. You don't actually see the items showed up in the, like, for example, if I type on Google LED lamp for gamers, I don't even show up on there. Even if I put Pixabo next to it, it still doesn't show up. And I'm trying to explain this to people, but then they say, oh, it's got to do with your titles and descriptions. But what if you've got the best SEO used in titles and descriptions, but you're still not showing up on the store, showing up on Google. Like your store is not even showing up. Like only like 1 or 2 links from your store may show up on Google results. And I even got partnered with Google as well, so I can transfer my information to the data. So transfer the information to the merchant center, so the script and everything, and it will show SEO and such, but it doesn't actually show all of it. And this is what I was trying to explain to people on Reddit, but even though I didn't really talk to many people on Reddit, because mostly the comments I got was just a lot of criticism regarding to my website was lazy looking, or my prices are way too high. I even had people messaging me through the inbox app of Shopify saying that this chap said, you were selling jigsaw puzzles for about £12. I would buy this if it's only £2. Or, oh, I see this lamp here. It looks very nice and such. Maybe you could just reduce it from £20 to £2 and you will make a lot of sales. And I'm like, I'm going to get negative profit margin. That just ruins the whole point of what Shopify is made for. So I got really very, very useless information from the community. You had even people that would just want to help, and then you're like, okay, sure, but then they'd be like, can I have your password, username, blah blah blah. I was just like, wow, you're meant to be a professional and you're asking for my personal info. So I'm not actually getting help. Like the Shopify community just seems like it's all based on jealousy, and they just want to talk other people down on their website when there's nothing actually on their website. They're just asking for help, but it's just like they're kind of trying to trick certain people who are brand new to Shopify and be like, oh, I'm going to make your website very popular and you'll make hundreds and hundreds of pounds a day and you could forever live through retirement. And if you want to do that, please tell me your email address, your password, blah blah blah. And people actually fall for this, like the same way when people get fooled on Etsy for new sellers who are getting lakhs of promotions and visits to their store, which is the same situation I have with Shopify when my store has about over 220 items. And at this point, I probably would close my Shopify store by the end of this year, because that's when my subscription ends with Shopify. So even if I feel like I've been robbed throughout my experience because I put too much money into a project that I thought was going to work out and it turns out it's not really been doing well, I could somewhat just learn the experience to just not, just think before you act. Because before I started Shopify, I was influenced by YouTubers online who are entrepreneurs, and they say things like they take part of Shopify, they do their sales and drop shipping, and then they make lots of money and such. And I'm like, this is interesting because I used to do eBay, and this will be very interesting. And then they just say, oh, if you want to do really well with Shopify, here's an interesting strategy. Do TikTok, and then you'll make loads and loads of sales a day if you just promote this one item. And you're like, okay, but what if you made about 50 videos on TikTok, but you're still getting lakhs? Like I only get like an average 200 clicks on one of my TikTok clips, but it's not like impactful to increase traffic on my store, as TikTok is commonly used for free promotions, because other websites, when you want to promote your business, you have to pay, but TikTok you can use to dropship, which is an interesting strategy, but it didn't even work out for me. And I, again, don't even know what could have done differently to persuade people to actually go to my Shopify store, because all I'm getting on my Shopify store is just occasional, like 1 or 2 visits a day. But then I occasionally do get some inbox messages. So I'm like, oh, okay, someone wants to talk to me. I open the inbox, and then all I get is just some so-called customers who would be like, I see your store is lacking. Maybe I can help you. First of all, if you could give me your email and your password and everything, I will make your website the best ever. And this is like all I have to deal with. I pretty much have to deal with loads of scam inboxes more than I actually want to run the store of how it's supposed to be running. So I only use the inbox if I did get a customer who wants to ask a question like, does this lamp require batteries, or does this toy involve batteries? Is it plastic or something? And I can happily respond to it. But this is mostly my inbox is just full of, scams and such. But my point of the video is just to share my personal experience. I would like to share my experience, which I already done through Reddit, but nobody actually appreciate to actually help me, or they say they want to help me, but then they don't. They show lack of evidence of how experienced they are. So they say, oh, they're an expert of this store, but then when you find out their store, it just appears to be all over the place. Like, for example, they charge a poster for £500 when you could find this poster anywhere for £20. And like, why are you just lecturing my website when you're selling an anime poster for £500, which I just saw on Etsy, which was only about £25. Like, how could you tell this to me to make my store better? So I pretty much disconnected from the Shopify community, and I've pretty much just been independent, investigating the problems why I am not getting any SEO whatsoever other than from Pinterest. So that was my focus. But people always say it's SEO words used in titles and descriptions, but it's not always the case. Because what if you had the best SEO in titles and descriptions in all of your products, but you still lack visitors, which is hardly been addressed online. They just say, oh, you need to stick to ads or do better SEO. What if you've done any of those? What if you've done everything in the book and still get no visitors or any SEO? And even if you're selling, I don't know, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000 products and still lack visitors,